Welcome to TTIOT, the show that proves anyone can have opinions. Have you ever wondered why the phrase crazy cat lady even exists? Today, we're diving into the surprising science behind cats. They're humans, and a little parasite called Toxoplasmosis. Let's get this circus started.
Okay, let's unpack this. What if the popular image, the stereotype of someone maybe a bit too attached to cats, actually had a subtle biological basis?
Uh-huh.
We're not here to judge cat lovers at all, but more to explore one of nature's really sophisticated examples of, well, parasitic mind control.
It sounds like science fiction, doesn't it?
It really does.
Hmm.
Today, we're diving deep into Toxoplasma gondii. It's a microscopic parasite that, and this is astonishing, affects up to half of all humans on Earth.
Half the planet. Think about that.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to explore how this tiny organism might be subtly influencing human behavior, maybe even shaping our personalities, our preferences for pets. We'll look at its complex life cycle, the really critical role cats play, how it spreads, and what it means for our health and the wider world, too.
Think of it like uncovering a hidden layer of biology affecting us.
Yeah, peeling back that layer.
And it's quite fascinating how something so widespread can stay largely invisible, yet it potentially impacts so many aspects of our lives, from moods to decisions.
It really challenges our idea of what defines us, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So that really sets the stage for this deep dive, a journey into understanding these intricate, sometimes unsettling connections in our biological world.
We're aiming for those aha moments.
Right, those moments where you realize, wow, our biology might be way more influenced than we ever imagined. Now, the true sort of genius, if you can call it that, of Toxoplasma gondii's survival strategy, it really becomes clear when you look at its ultimate goal.
Which is getting back inside a cat to reproduce. That's the end game.
Precisely. And its journey involves this really cunning form of biological manipulation.
Yeah, it's evolved this remarkable strategy. For its intermediate hosts, mostly rodents, it literally rewires their brains.
Rewires them? How?
Well, infected mice and rats, they don't just lose their innate fear of cats. They actually become attracted to the smell of cat urine, to cat odors.
Attractive? That's counterintuitive for survival.
Totally. It's a fatal attraction.
Yep.
Basically designed to put them right in the cat's path. This ensures the parasite gets back to its definitive host, the cat.
Oh.
And we're talking about epigenetic modifications. So these are changes that switch genes on or off without changing the actual DNA sequence. It happens in the brain regions controlling fear.
So it's not changing the hardware, just the software settings.
That's a good way to put it. It's a really sophisticated biological hack.
It's almost, well, unsettling to think about, isn't it? If a microscopic organism can control a mouse's basic survival instincts like that, it immediately makes you ask, could we also be susceptible to this kind of subtle manipulation?
And that's the critical question, right? The research certainly points towards some fascinating, maybe slightly creepy possibilities for us.
Right. Because studies have found these startling behavioral differences in humans who have a chronic infection. It's almost like the parasite is subtly tweaking our own operating system.
Like a gentle nudge affecting potentially millions.
Yeah. So for men with a chronic T. gondii infection, studies suggest they tend to become more suspicious, more jealous perhaps, less rule-abiding, less organized.
And more vigilant, maybe paranoid.
Exactly, and showing less self-control sometimes. Now flip that, for women with chronic infection, they tend to become warmer, more outgoing.
Oh, interesting. The opposite direction almost.
Yeah, more rule-following, more organized, more socially engaged, and often showing better self-control.
So different effects depending on gender. That's complex.
Very. And while those gendered shifts are fascinating, the parasite's reach seems to go even further. It impacts both men and women in ways that affect daily life.
Okay, like what?
Well, both genders show increased anxiety levels, and, this is a big one, a higher rate of car accidents.
Car accidents, why?
Potentially due to altered risk assessment, maybe slower reaction times. The thinking is the parasite might subtly change how we perceive danger.
Wow. Okay.
And maybe the most significant link researchers are exploring. Infected individuals seem to have a 2.7 times higher likelihood of developing schizophrenia.
That's a major correlation.
It is. It's like this tiny, invisible programmer is subtly rewriting bits of our emotional code, our decision-making code.
And this really brings that idea of the parasitic puppet master into sharp focus, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
What strikes me, building on what you said, is how these shifts aren't just subtle. They often seem to push people towards behaviors that might, maybe unknowingly, help the parasite's own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the biologist Jaroslav Flager, who's done a lot of work here, he suggests T. gondii might be one of the most successful manipulators of human behavior we know.
That's a bold statement.
It is, and it raises this really important question about how much of our personality, our choices, might be influenced by stuff way beyond our conscious awareness.
And just think about it. If a rodent can be made to like the smell of its predator,
Yeah.
it's maybe not such a huge leap to wonder if the parasite could subtly influence some people to be more attracted to cats, ensuring it keeps getting passed on.
That would be an incredibly ingenious, if disturbing long-term strategy, playing out over millennia.
Exactly. A long game. So if this invisible puppet master is subtly pulling our strings, what about our actual cats, our pets? Why are they so central to this whole story?
Right, the cat connection.
Well, cats are the only animals where Toxoplasma gondii can complete its sexual reproductive cycle. That's the key. This makes them the definitive host, and crucially, the main source of environmental contamination around the world.
Precisely. Cats usually get infected by eating infected prey rodents, birds, or even contaminated raw meat.
Okay.
Once it's inside the cat's gut, the parasite reproduces sexually. This produces millions of these tiny, incredibly tough, infectious oocysts. Think of them like microscopic eggs.
And these get shed.
In their feces, yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This shedding period is usually quite short, only about 1 to 2 weeks.
Just once.
Usually just once in a cat's lifetime. They tend to develop immunity after that first infection.
Okay, that's important.
Very. But those oocysts, once they're out in the environment, they need about 1 to 5 days to become infectious. And then they can survive for months, even over a year, in soil, just waiting.
Waiting for the next host. Wow, so resilient.
Incredibly resilient. But here's another critical detail for understanding the actual risk.
What's that?
Only about 1% of domestic cats are actively shedding these oocysts at any given time.
1%. That figure feels really important, doesn't it?
It is.
It helps frame the risk properly. While cats are essential to the parasite cycle, the actual risk from, say, your well-cared-for indoor cat is likely quite low.
Exactly. It's about being informed, not automatically fearful of cats.
Right. So with that perspective, how do we as humans typically get infected? It's not always direct contact with a shedding cat, is it?
No, not always. One of the main ways is actually eating undercooked meat, especially pork, lamb, and venison. That's a very common source.
Okay, undercooked meat. What else?
Then there's direct contact with contaminated cat feces. That could be from cleaning a litter box, sure, but also gardening in soil where an infected cat might have, gone to the bathroom.
Ah, the garden. Didn't think of that immediately.
Or even kids playing in sandboxes that haven't been covered. Outdoor cats might use them as litter boxes.
Right, okay. Makes sense. Any other routes?
Yeah, contaminated water or food.
Mm-hmm.
Think unwashed fruits and vegetables grown in contaminated soil. Or drinking untreated water sources where oocysts might be present.
So it's quite widespread in the environment, potentially.
It can be.
Thankfully, though, awareness helps. There are clear prevention strategies, right? For everyone.
Definitely. Simple things make a big difference.
Like cooking meat properly. You mentioned 160 Fahrenheit or 71 Celsius.
That's the key temperature,
Sure.
especially for pork, lamb, game meats. Cook it through.
Okay. And wash fruits and vegetables thoroughly, especially if they're grown low to the ground.
Absolutely. Get that soil off, and if you're gardening, wear gloves. Simple precaution. And wash your hands really well after touching soil.
Because those oocysts can last in soil for over a year, you said.
Correct. And cover kid sandboxes when they're not being used. Stop stray cats treating it like a public toilet.
Good practical tips. Now, what about pregnant women? The advice there is even more critical, isn't it? Because the risks are so much higher.
Yes, absolutely crucial. Ideally, if you're pregnant, have someone else clean the cat's litter box.
And if that's not possible,
Wear disposable gloves and wash your hands thoroughly immediately afterwards. And critically, make sure the litter box is cleaned daily.
daily. Why daily specifically?
Because remember, the oocysts need 1 to 5 days after being shed to actually become infectious. If you clean the box every day, you remove them before they mature.
Ah, that makes sense. Interrupting the cycle.
Exactly. And of course, pregnant women should avoid handling stray cats, especially kittens.
Good advice. And for cat owners in general. Anything else?
Feed your cat commercial pet food, not raw meat, to avoid that source of infection. And keeping cats indoors prevents them from hunting potentially infected rodents or birds.
So responsible pet ownership really helps manage the risk.
significantly, which leads to a common misconception, actually.
Which is?
Does just owning a cat put you at high risk? The studies actually show that simply living with cats is not a major risk factor if they are kept indoors and don't hunt.
Okay, that's reassuring for many listeners, I bet.
The real risk factors are more associated with things like getting a new kitten, as they're more likely to have a primary infection and shed, or dealing with stray or feral cats, or cats that go outdoors and actively hunt.
So again, it comes back to awareness and responsible practices.
Precisely.
Okay, so we've talked behavior, we've talked transmission, but beyond those subtle nudges on personality, this parasite isn't always quiet, is it? Health-wise.
No, definitely not.
Well, what, 80–90% of healthy adults might have no symptoms? Or just mild flu-like stuff they barely notice?
Right, most people don't even know they have it.
But for vulnerable populations, T. gondii poses some really severe dangers.
Yes. For people with compromised immune systems, say, due to HIV/AIDS, chemotherapy, or organ transplants, toxoplasmosis can be life-threatening.
How so?
It can cause things like cephalitis, which is dangerous bone inflammation, seizures, even blindness due to eye infection.
That's serious. And for pregnant women and newborns, we touched on the risk, but the outcomes can be devastating.
Profoundly devastating.
Yeah.
Infection during pregnancy can lead to miscarriage, stillbirth, or what's called congenital toxoplasmosis in the baby.
And what does that involve for the child?
It can cause severe lifelong problems. There's something known as the classic triad of symptoms.
The classic triad.
It includes chorioretinitis, that's inflammation in the eye that can lead to blindness, hydrocephalus, basically, fluid buildup causing pressure on the brain, and intracranial calcifications, hardened spots in the brain tissue.
My goodness.
And all of this often leads to significant intellectual disability and hearing loss as well. It's truly tragic.
It really puts the need for prevention during pregnancy into perspective.
Absolutely. Now, zooming out even further, thinking about the population level,
Yeah.
the impact of cat-transmitted toxoplasmosis actually extends way beyond individual human health. It creates these cascading effects through whole ecosystems.
How do you mean?
Well, first, just in terms of public health burden in the U.S., it's estimated to be the second leading cause of death from foodborne illness.
Second, wow, ahead of things like salmonella or E. coli.
In terms of mortality, yes.
Yeah.
And the fourth leading cause of foodborne hospitalizations. So it's a significant public health issue, even if often overlooked.
That's actually shocking.
And then there's the environmental impact. It's quite significant. We've seen really severe consequences for marine mammals, for instance.
Marine mammals. How does a land-based parasite affect them?
Oocysts get washed into waterways through storm runoff, sewage overflows. Even people improperly flushing cat litter down the toilet.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And this leads to infections in animals that ingest contaminated water or shellfish. Studies have linked toxoplasmosis to like 13% of sea otter deaths off California.
13%.
And deaths in endangered Hawaiian monk, seals, dolphins, whales. It's also devastating for some land animals, like Australian marsupials, wallabies, and koalas are particularly susceptible.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it, how interconnected everything is. Flushing cat litter seems so minor, but
It can ripple through entire ecosystems. Who would have thought a tiny parasite from cats could cause such widespread ecological issues?
it really is a stark reminder. Okay, so what does all this mean as we wrap up? We've unpacked a really fascinating, maybe a little unsettling story about this ancient manipulator living right under our noses. Let's maybe quickly recap the key takeaways from this deep dive.
Good idea.
First, Toxoplasma gondii is truly global, infecting 30–50% of humans worldwide. One of history's most successful parasites, really.
Hard to argue with that success rate.
Second, it may subtly influence our personality, those gender-specific changes we talked about. It might increase anxiety, alter risk assessment.
Leading to things like higher car accident rates, potentially.
Right. And that link to mental health conditions like schizophrenia. Still being researched, but it's there.
Crucial area of study.
Third, the cat connection. Cats are essential for its life cycle, yes. But responsible pet ownership significantly cuts down the transmission risks.
That low shedding rate, the time needed for oocysts to become infectious. Indoor cats fed commercial food are low risk.
Fourth takeaway. While it's often asymptomatic in healthy people, it poses severe risks to the immunocompromised and, critically, to unborn children.
The congenital toxoplasmosis outcomes are devastating.
And finally, fifth, the environmental impact is real and far-reaching. Contamination from cat feces affects ecosystems globally, from local gardens right up to marine life.
Yeah, a surprising ecological footprint.
So knowledge is key here, isn't it?
Absolutely. Knowledge is most valuable when you understand it and can apply it. This deep dive It should really inspire awareness, not alarm. Understanding all this doesn't mean we should fear cats. It means we should embrace better hygiene practices, push for more research, maybe improve prenatal screening, and practice responsible environmental stewardship, like not flushing cat litter. And it really puts into perspective how interconnected our lives are with the natural world, seen and unseen. And it raises an important question for all of us, really. How can we better integrate this understanding into our daily habits and our public health efforts?
That's a great point. The story of Toxoplasma gondii.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful reminder that we share our world and maybe even our minds to some extent with countless other organisms.
Many were only just beginning to understand.
Exactly. And rather than fearing that connection, maybe we can use this growing knowledge to live more safely, more harmoniously, both with our pets, our feline companions, and with these invisible passengers we might be carrying.
A balanced perspective.
So the next time you maybe encounter that old stereotype, the crazy cat lady image, just remember, there might be a whole lot more to the story than meets the eye. And that deeper story reveals the fascinating, complex, and sometimes really surprising ways that life on this planet is all interconnected.